Hello, I am here. I'm queer and I'm here to swatch some purple eyeshadows. I was just over on Sheri's stream and she was absolutely fantastic. She was talking about all of the Nabla palettes that she had, and I absolutely freaking love Nabla. I only own like 2 other palettes, but she is firmly convincing me that I should absolutely buy more. So, in case you can't tell by my face and my existence, purple eyeshadow is my favorite form of eyeshadow. When I first really got into makeup, that was a color that I kind of always went with because it was very flattering on my eyes. It was always super, super fun. So y'all are here for the purple. I have a bunch of palettes. I'm only here for a half hour, so we're going to see if I can actually get through all of them. So I'm excited. I hope y'all are too. I tried to go very monochromatic for this endeavor. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. Y'all are here. So I think the best thing to do first is for me to go through some of my singles because I tried to use a whole bunch of different purple shadows to get this look today. So first, I have a JD Glow Galaxy shadow, which is a delight. This is in the shade Insane. And this is sparkly as shit. Oh. Yeah. Also, before I get into it, I do want to thank Yoga with Mo because she is the one who organized all of this. I'm doing a little live stream crawl. This is so fun. Okay, so let's start with Insane by JD Glow. Firstly, look at that shit. Oh my god. Okay, I still don't know how I should swatch on camera, but we're gonna go with it. So I don't have any primer down, but look at this gorgeous shadow. I tried to use a little bit of it on the top of my cut crease today, but I realized between that and the other shade that I use, there really isn't too much of a difference, other than this one is definitely a little bit more glittery. You have to pack it on a little bit more. The other one, which I'm going to show you all right now, is actually from Shine by Estiechica. I did a Get Ready With Me using this I think I posted it on Monday, and holy shit, guys, their shimmers are fantastic. This is their one in Lilac Blue Duochrome, and this is a lot like Insane from JD Glow, but it's a little bit I would say softer, a little less glittery, a little bit more pigmented. So let me swatch that right now. So you can see that that one goes on a bit thicker. It is less glittery, so you don't need to do quite as much. So here's what they look like side by side. You can't tell as much of a difference when you apply them other than the texture itself. So that is kind of the main difference. I have some microfiber towels here to wipe off swatches because I don't own any, what's it called? Makeup wipes. Yes, those are bad for the environment. Ooh, Anomaly by JD Glow. Okay. I might have to look into that a little bit more too because I always need a little bit more purple shadows. And I also really like JD Glow. So thank you for letting me know of that. I also have a couple others from Shine by Estie. I'll go with the one Complex here, which this is also a duochrome, but you can't tell quite as much by looking at it. So if we swatch it, that'll probably show us a little bit more. Thank you for all the compliments, you guys. So here's what it looks like on the finger. This one is definitely a lot more smoky. Shine by Estie, I love the texture of their shimmers. I think that they're so, so pretty. This one is nice and smoky and gorgeous. Oh. It makes me so happy. I love a smoky purple, especially. Fuck, I forgot one of my favorite smoky shades, which is Rockstar by Urban Decay. And those singles are expensive, but they're lovely. They're lovely. And then this one is a little bit lighter of a duochrome. This is in So Fine, but I figure since there is a little bit of purple in this, I should swatch this one too before I move on to the palettes. Can you tell I'm having a fun time with all of this? So here is what that looks like. I don't know. Let me put a little bit on my finger too. That way you might be able to tell that a little bit better. Oh yeah. Look at the nice little light lilac-y type shift. I don't know how to describe it. Also, what lipstick I'm wearing, it's what I got for 99 cents when CoverGirl was on clearance. I forget what it's called, but it's just like one of the CoverGirl bullet lipsticks. So that I told myself I would remember the name of it before I came down to do this, and then I did. I'm just really great. So those were the singles that I have that are purple. So let's move on to some palettes. Let me just show y'all the sheer number of palettes that I have. Not all of them are strictly purple palettes, but all of them, I have a whole bunch of them. One of them was just like decided to fall off a cliff. So here we go. Here's my palettes, y'all. Okay, this is about to die. Okay, you know when you just have to balance things with your face sometimes? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go from the top. I'm going to go for the purple palettes a little bit more strictly, and then we can get into some of the others if we have time. I figure purple palettes overall are more important. So firstly, this is like the one Too Faced palette that I have that I still really like. I don't support Too Faced as a brand, but this palette, despite Too Faced being absolute ass at purples, they did a really good job on this one. First of all, this is what it looks like. This is their Razzle Dazzle Berry palette, and it smells amazing because Too Faced has to make smelly shit, and okay, no, I shouldn't be sniffing my palettes on camera. That'll be really weird. So this has like actually a pretty nice balance of like neutral to purple tones. And it's actually really interesting because when I first got this, actually I think Case got it for me as like Valentine's Day gift when it came out. And I thought like when I first tried it, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to work with this so much. So like when I was doing like the shimmer shades, I was like, putting down glitter glue, using setting spray, doing all the things. And actually that made it worse to use. The shades work perfectly fine with just like standard eyeshadow primer on their own. I use an XHD eyeshadow primer I have for the last 4 years. But this one doesn't need any like glitter primer or anything like that. The shadows perform so much better when you're just doing it by yourself. So I think, you know, these two shades aren't technically purple, but I'm going to swatch them anyway because they're really pretty. So I'm going to go with these 4 shades. And this is just like, it smells so nice and berry-y. It very much reminds me of like the Bath and Body Works scents that I used to really love, you know, when I was in middle school. So here we go. Here are all 4 of those shades. And I personally don't think that I'm digging into them too much, but I'm also kind of a chaos maven when it comes to my eyeshadow, so we'll see. And just, well, I don't I don't have any sense of which direction I should be swatching things, but that is what those look like. That's just one pass, no primer. I just love it. And I know that this palette and most Too Faced palettes aren't great for those who are like sensitive. That was really good to point out, Kathleen. I like everything to smell like things, like good things. But I love scented things. So this is like the one good and interesting Too Faced palette that they've made. Okay, so I think, let me go with what's on my eyes. Oh my God, so many people are here. Like, I'm just so happy. Hi, everyone. Oh my God. Okay, so this is my favorite purple palette of all time, the Menagerie Cosmetics Violet Ink. I am a sucker for Menagerie eyeshadows because I love things with pigmentation, and these shadows absolutely do it for me. And it's so interesting because you can see the different shades in here. It's so perfect. It is so nice because, you know, this is obviously a monochromatic purple palette, but the way that the shades are done, they just like, when you blend them, they still maintain their different sorts of tones in there. And I think that this was just so, so well done. The only thing that I would have added is like maybe a light, like purpley topper type shade, but I also, when I look at this, I can't imagine anything that I would take out of it because every shade is so, so perfect. So I'm actually going to swatch this on the back of my arm because I think this is getting a little twisty. So let's do this top row right here. We have Mimic, Jellyfish, and oh, I did not get all of the pigment off of that Too Faced shade, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's a little stainy. And Inkjet. So here we go. Here's what those top 3 shades look like. I have both of the mattes here on there. I really love the shade Mimic. It's so interesting because like it is this really pretty shade on its own, but it also is like kind of sheer-ish when you apply it with a brush. So it can also act as a topper. So I love it so much. Okay, let me try and get some more of this pigment off of my hands. I think I overestimated the abilities of a microfiber towel, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna ignore it. So on the bottom we have Iron Grip, 3 Hearts, and Octopi. Oh, and the brand and name of it is the Menagerie Cosmetics Violet Ink. It has this cute little octopus on the front. So let me get these shades. Oh. Can you just stare at this in awe with me? The colors that are on my eyes, I have all of the mattes except for Iron Grip. So I have Octopi, Inkjet, and Jellyfish. I use Jellyfish as a transition, and I just stuck my hand in more shades because I'm, like I said, I'm a chaos maven. And Octopi to deepen it up, and then a bit of Inkjet in the outer corner, as well as to kind of like not quite line the lower lash line, but as much as you can do with kind of a shadow. So these are just so good. I'm someone who when I apply eyeshadow, I just really freaking dig into it to apply it. And so this is really nice because you can get that sort of pigmentation whether or not you really dig it in. So I just, is it weird if I kiss it? Okay. Okay. So, you know, this is my favorite. Another really good monochromatic one that is a recent purchase of mine is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions one. And this one, well, let me compare it to the Menagerie one, but this one is a lot more warm toned. And I actually really like that. I like having the different sort of tones in it because it kind of just really gives a different vibe depending on what you really like. And both of them can do like very, very bold looks, which obviously I'm into. And I've actually been really obsessed. Well, they're called the Obsessions palettes. So yeah. Oh, my favorite Menagerie palette other than Violet Ink, it's actually the Dragon Child palette, which I have, but it's been discontinued. So I do have this because it has a couple of very light purples in it. Worm and Stone Drake, but this one I like more for the red, blue, green tones in it. And I'm really sad because he discontinued it. I don't know if if they have it as singles or what, because I really like their color stories, generally speaking, so I don't really go for their singles. I just go for the full-on palettes, so I don't know about that. But here, let's watch this little Huda Beauty one. I really like Huda's shimmers. I feel like they're really nice because they have some very different textures to them. Like you can get some very metallic ones, some very glittery ones, and like the mattes they're fine. So here's that top row right here. But like, I think it's truly her shimmer shades that really shine. Shimmer shades that really shine. Shimmer shades that really shine, you know? So this is what those look like. As you can see, those are definitely a lot more warmer, more berry tone, kind of match my shirt a little bit more than the Menagerie one. So that is the top row there. And then actually I did decide to put this little middle shimmer kind of towards the inner portion of my lower lash line. It shows up a lot more in person because my camera quality from my webcam, not as great as I would like it to be. So let's get that middle row and maybe you can see that middle shade a little bit better. So here's what they look like on the fingers. This is that middle shade that is so pretty. Okay. So, and like I said, the mattes are not like, they work when you put them in the crease. The mattes are fine. They're not Menagerie levels of pigmented, but they do definitely work. You just have to build them up. So that's what those look like. See why I'm obsessed with that shade though? It's gorgeous. And I think too, if like, I'm kind of comparing some of the shades to the Razzle Dazzle Berry from Too Faced when I'm like looking at both sides of my arm. And I think if you wanted a kind of an extension of the berry shades without the kind of neutral side that comes in the Razzle Dazzle Berry, this would probably be a really good alternative if you just want like all purple shades as opposed to a half purple, half neutral palette. So let's get this last row in. So here are those. And then I'm gonna have to move to my other arm because I'm running out. So I'm so glad we're doing this. This is so fun. I also love shades like this. It's like a highlighter. I haven't done any like fun pink highlighters recently, just because I'm really, I'm trying to pan this Makeup Revolution with a big highlighter. Yes, the lid did come off of it, which is actually, this is the second one I've had that has done that. So yeah, but this is what that looks like. So here are all of the shades from the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. As you can tell, obviously more warm tone than the purples up here, but honestly, I really love just like having all of this swatched because you can just see the different kinds of purple, and now you can really see why I'm obsessed with purple eyeshadow, because you know, people are like, purple is purple is purple, like that's how we feel about monochromatic, whatever, but there's so much depth, so many things you can do with it. I just hit myself in the face while gesturing. Hello, I am beauty, I am grace, I whack myself in the face. Okay, so let me see. I have a couple that I really want to get into. I have one more kind of, technically two monochromatic purple palettes. So the two that I have, the thing is I have other purple eyeshadows that are not in these palettes that I want to swatch more. So I'll just show you these. I've used these both in recent videos. So I had the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop Cotton Candy one. And since I was looking for a palette that had a few more like pinks in this, this was a really good choice. These are pretty inexpensive and they're huge. I did not anticipate this being this big. So I'm not going to swatch this one because I did a video on this pretty recently and I think this is really good quality. BH makes really good shadows. They just haven't had a palette in a long time with a color scheme that appealed to me in the way that this one and the green one did. So this is my first BH purchase in a couple years, but they're really, really good quality. And then, of course, we have the Melt Cheese and Parties palette, which I also did a video on recently. And this one, I'm not going to say it's more neutral because it's not. It's very smoky. It leans very burgundy, which I personally really love. Like when I was doing comparisons with this palette, yeah, I did not anticipate this being so big. That is what she said, or he, or they. But yeah. So I really like this one too. Like when I was doing, like I said, when I was doing comparison swatches with this, I realized that I don't actually have a lot of like dark purple burgundy shimmers in my collection. Like I might have one or two here and there, but this really filled like a nice gap in there. And also I will swatch Strange Love. Strange Love is absolutely everything to me. That is probably my favorite shade out of the entire palette. Hello. Hello. Look at that shimmer. Okay. Let's do, just for funsies. Look at that. That's a swatch, bitches. I just love it so much. This is such a good palette. It's very smoky. Like you wouldn't like it if you don't like smoky dark palettes. If you don't like dark colors on yourself, don't get this one. But I live for dark colors on myself. I hate light colors on myself, quite frankly. And it's such a good formula. Okay, good. None of the swatches transferred to my face when I touched it, but this is so good. Okay. So since we have about 10 minutes left, by the way, the next person you're going to is technically Tracy. Her info is in my description box below. She's an absolute delight. I'm really excited to see what she does. But since we have about 10 minutes left, let's do some kind of individual shadows from palettes that I love for their purpliness. So, hi, Anastasia and Jackie Aina. This was my favorite palette of 2019, and honestly, whenever I don't know what to do with my makeup, I always go into this. I started a new job this week, and for my work looks, I use this palette. It's quite lovely. I also get a little bit of leeway because they're pretty laid back when it comes to like dress codes and stuff. So there are two main purple shades in here. They have Big Wig right here, and then Shookington. And honestly, just like this in the crease, this on the lid, you are gonna have yourself a good time. It's just, okay. So I'm gonna swatch on like this hand now. Hello. Yes, these are absolutely gorgeous. So look at that pigmentation. I knew when Jackie was coming out with the palette that she was gonna make something absolutely just so gorgeous and so pigmented. I just enjoy her makeup style so much, even if I lean a little bit more alternative grungy than she does. I always think that she makes absolutely gorgeous looks. Everything I've ever tried that she's recommended has always gone well for me. So she's just fantastic. I did a really shitty job swatching this. These swatches don't quite do it justice because I'm right-handed. I'm not ambidextrous. I'm not amphibious. So if only. But these purples are just everything. And the Jackie Aina palette is everything. If you don't have it, I don't know if it's still on sale, but if you don't have it and it is, you should buy it. It's everything. My mom loves this palette too. She doesn't have one, but whenever I go home, she always insists that like I do her makeup with this one. It's so good. And then the other one that like, so that, the Jackie Aina palette, the Menagerie Violet Ink, and then this one, the Viseart Dark Edit, were like my palettes of the year last year. And this was just, like I said, I love me a smoky palette. And this is honestly such a good color scheme for me because this basically matches all the clothes that I have in my closet. So anything that I do with this is gonna look good. So we have 3 shades right here. This dark purple, a lighter purple, and then this really, really beautiful shimmer. I know a lot of people don't care that much for Viseart shimmers, but I think they're very nice and smooth and metallic. They're not like glittery JD Glow Galaxy shadows or anything like that, but I do think they work really, really nicely. So let me pull out some swatches for that. Oh yeah, I'm still, yeah, I should have mentioned I'm on a break from Viseart. Anastasia is on a very long break for me, since I did mention that with Too Faced. A lot of brands are on a break with me right now. That's fine. It's fine. So here is that darkest shade, which, wow, that swatch really shitty. I swear to you, these like perform so much better than they swatch. Let's try this metallic. Let's hope this metallic works so much better. Oh yes, yeah, the metallic performs really, really nicely when you swatch it. I like Viseart's mattes. Like, I think they perform really nicely. They just don't swatch well. It's kind of like sugar pill shadows when like you put it on, it's so much better than when you actually swatch it. So this is so good. Honestly, whenever I wear this palette, I always get compliments on it. And yes, there is Viseart drama. They didn't react well to the pull up or shut up movement. So they're on a break. They're on a break from me right now. So I can probably, like, it's better if I DM you like the information, because I genuinely can't quite explain. I just remember that the owner got like really pissed off when someone asked about like what their diversity statistics and stuff were, and it wasn't pretty. So I'm hoping that they improve, which is basically how I feel about everything. It's just like, get better. But they are in jail right now. So let's see. I don't have much time left, so I'm going to do one last palette, and this is the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments palette. Now, this is honestly a gorgeous rainbow palette. And like, I use the other shades in this palette, but I specifically really love the purples. I think all of them work really well with like, since obviously at the beginning, I do have a lot of shimmer purples. And so this makes a very nice like crease transition type shade for that. They're all really nice and pigmented. I love Colored Rain's formula. I don't know why it took me so long to try their formula, but they're fantastic. So let me swatch those, and then I'm gonna give you all the secret animal. Secret animal. Secret animal. I started watching Legend of Korra earlier today, so that's in my head. Okay, so here they are on my fingers. And need I say anything else? Okay. So here we go. That matte pigmentation. I think if you like Menagerie's pigmentation but find them difficult to blend, I think Colored Rain shadows would be really good for you. Obviously, these purples are a lot more warm tone, a lot more berry toned than the ones from the Menagerie Violet ink, but I think they're still really good quality. They still provide that really good pigmentation that Menagerie does, but I think they're a lot more user-friendly if you're not used to using super pigmented eyeshadow. Okay. I have, as you probably saw, I still have a metric fuck ton of purple palettes, but I think that I might swap that into another thing when I have a little bit more time, because y'all are going over to technically Tracy's channel, and I'm gonna give y'all the secret animal for my live stream, which is a sugar glider. Now we have a family of 4 sugar gliders, 2 parents and a little son and daughter. The parents are Smudge and Blizzard. The kids are Stevie and Xander, and they are our babies. We love them so much. Sugar gliders are the cutest little animals. They're so cuddly, so loyal, and they're so quirky. And actually, there's a clothing brand called Princess Highway that I really like that recently came out with a sugar glider clothing collection. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time not buying everything from that. So that is a secret animal. Sugar gliders are fantastic. They love honey sticks, and they love just like cuddling. So that is it. Thank you all so much for joining me on my channel. This was so fun. I will probably end up doing a purple eyeshadow swatch party live part 2. Sorry, 5 purples. I have their Affinity 2 palette. I should get more of the purple eyeshadow. Okay, so y'all go on over to technically Tracy's channel. I'm gonna wipe this all off of my arms before I damage anything, and then I will see y'all there. Okay, bye.